Over what glass of wine were these questions created? Now
It was
I'm
actually
asking you
over all of
questions.
our samples combined last
Oh,
night.
really?
We tried the Sauvignon Blanc and then all of the red wines. All right. Hi, Vinny.
Hello.
Cheers. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right. So I have some questions for you.
Here we go.
What would happen if you told everyone you'd cook, but Postmates just pulled up? What wine are you pouring to bring it all together?
Well, you can assume there's some great wine already, hopefully, and they won't care that Postmates just pulled up.
What do you have stocked in your fridge ready to go?
Yeah, it's probably champagne at that point.
Okay.
Sparkling wine. Yeah, just as a broad category.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll be at your house then.
Very good. Yeah.
We're now 4 hours in at the dinner party you hosted. Cards and board games are in full swing. What are we drinking towards the end of the night?
It might turn into more spirits like chartreuse or calvados, but generally that's when more the fun, like, oh, I've been waiting to save that forever.
Yeah.
And you just say, let's just drink it now.
I love it. So do you start the evening with wine and then progress into other spirits?
Who knows? It just depends.
Wherever it takes you.
Depends on the vibe and the crowd. But usually all the bottles you thought you were gonna save for a special occasion, you're like, this is a special occasion, so you just go in and grab that bottle.
Yeah, love it. Sounds fun. It's been a terrible night of service. Broken wine glasses, rude guests, and food is just not hitting the mark. What's the bottle you're sharing to brighten the mood with the team?
It's probably one of the bottles that was sent back by the guest that didn't like it, and the bottle was perfectly fine.
Love it. Convenient when that happens.
Yeah, just whatever makes sense. But yeah, at that point, it might just be a bunch of beers out of the cooler and just having a huddle with the team.
Yeah. You're hunkering down to rewatch Game of Thrones. What bottle is on deck first? First of all, have you watched Game of Thrones?
Yes, I finally saw the ending.
Okay.
Much
Recently?
later, yeah, a few months ago.
Wow.
I just couldn't watch the second half of the endings, the final season.
Yeah.
And so many people had spoken about it, and I finally we pulled the trigger, watched it in one go.
I feel like I forget everything that happens and then I have to rewatch.
Yep, that's the danger.
So what bottle pairs nicely with that rewatch?
Ooh, what's a dramatic wine? Maybe some like orange wine or some, something funky and different.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, probably like Italian white wine. We crush so much of that at home. The Trebbiano, Pecorino, Etna Bianco, things like that.
Fun.
Something that it's what, 5 or 6 episodes. You need some longevity.
Exactly.
You can't just jump into the heavy stuff right away.
No, yeah,
the
you need to
show's
ease
heavy
into
enough.
it. That's right. Very dramatic.
Yeah.
If you could only drink one style of wine during the summer in California, what would it be?
Oh, easy. Dry white wine.
Do you have a favorite?
Lots. I think it's a broad category. Italian white wine, certainly Sauvignon Blanc falls into that.
Yeah.
Just lighter, crisper white wines that don't feel heavy. They don't feel like they build and you can only have one glass and it's just kind of, you appreciate the taste and can't drink the whole bottle.
Right.
It's something that needs to just go down easy.
Yeah, I love that. As Sauvignon Blanc should.
Yes.
Everyone's hanging out and no one really knows wine. What's your move?
Open some wine.
Yeah, I'm sure these aren't really friends that you would tend to hang out with anyway, but.
You run into this when the friend in the group is a sommelier, but they bring a friend that's, not in the industry. And you need to be human and just like get to know them as well and understand what they like. And you'd be surprised what you discover just by talking to people and asking questions and listening.
What kind of questions do you ask? Like, is it about their favorite types of food or is it more about their flavor profiles that they are drawn to? Maybe
some not like dead-on questions like that, but just say, hey, where do you like to go grab a drink? Or what's the last, any favorite restaurants in your neighborhood? And then usually there's a dot or a connection within that. You can maybe start asking about preferences. And even the same at a restaurant when you have a guest that maybe isn't as verbose and knowledgeable about wine, but knows they like wine. So you might ask some of the same questions.
Sure.
What's the last thing you had that you drank, or what kind of cocktails or what spirit do you gravitate towards?
Yeah.
Things like that.
I like that. That connection to someone first doesn't always have to be about wine or food, but kind of like understanding that whole person.
You don't have to dig into the exact topic right away. It doesn't have to be that on the nose.
Yeah, right. I know the answer to this. What's your go-to varietal when you want to celebrate something big?
So what's the answer?
Well, I thought you were going to say champagne because that was your very first answer to my very first question.
Just kind of
But
happened that way.
that's too on the nose.
It depends on time and place of the occasion.
Yeah.
You know, champagne makes sense. I think it's an easy one, but we're just happy to have wine and celebrate in general.
Yeah. So any wine?
Any wine.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything to celebrate is
Yeah.
celebration enough.
Love it. It's Tuesday night. Fridge is basically empty besides leftovers. What bottle are you grabbing?
Besides leftovers. Man, I feel like we're just such a boring crowd. We always drink Italian wine. No, we I think it's a function of living where we live, and the wine shop down the street has California and Italian wine, which is like perfect.
Yeah.
So
You want to impress, but you're working with $50. What do you open?
that's easy. Allium. We want people to feel like it's accessible,
Yeah.
and it's very easy to start a new brand and just say, well, this is the cost, and this is what we have to do to make money.
Yeah.
And that's of course you want to be viable and remain as a business, but for me, it's important that we're just like I was when I was before pre-sommelier, but then I'm curious in the wine industry. Like if you can't afford to drink it, you're not going to try it. So it's important to me that we have that.
Yeah.
So that's an easy one. It's delicious and it's a lot of wine for the money.
Nice. All right, so if I'm walking into a wine shop and I'm not well-versed in wine, really, I kind of know the flavors that I like or what I'm making for dinner that night, what sorts of questions should I ask, or how should I work with the wine shop owner to find something I'd like?
Yeah, a great question, because every wine shop and restaurant, etc., is so different, and they have that collection for a reason. So the best thing you could do is speak to someone in the shop. It's their job to help you to find the wine. Being clear about maybe the occasion and the reason you're looking, what you typically like or what you might be looking for, and certainly be honest about what you're willing to spend. That's completely okay, and that actually makes it much easier to help versus trying to guess what someone is comfortable spending.
Yeah. What about if I'm coming to a restaurant and I just want like a nice bottle of wine that my friends who aren't really into wine are gonna enjoy with me, and we want to spend, maybe $100 or something? Like, how can I convey that without being so overt at a table with friends about all of that stuff?
Well, if you don't want to embarrass your friends by saying that, you could be very open about the budget and use terms like, just want something easy drinking that's going to be crowd pleasing, and go with all of the food that we're having. Very loose and simple terms. It doesn't have to be so poignant about friends' preferences and things like that. But
you pick up on it.
Someone with eyes and ears should be able to pick up on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you think wineries can make their wines or their offerings more approachable? Like, what does that word mean to you?
There's certainly the production of it, right? And the intention behind what is the end product the winemaker is at least hoping for.
Yeah.
And then, in some cases, engineering to that.
Yeah.
But I'd say ultimately hoping for. And then there's the actual human-to-human piece of how we speak about wine and how we interact with people. And I think that's the part that we really miss in the wine industry most days. And obviously price, there's just a barrier with a price tag, and I don't think that people aren't willing to spend money on wine, but there's just so many choices for vying for our bandwidth and our wallets, whether it's wine or not a beverage. So many things. That's I think, like when you want to be approachable, how does that production make it taste? How does that production contribute to the price?
Yep.
And are you approachable in price for the market that you want to be in? And then how do you speak about the wine and bring
just the
people
overall
into it?
brand, right?
Yeah.
Like, what does the brand feel
Yeah, I guess
like?
there's a word for that. The
Yeah,
overall brand.
it's okay. Our ant friend made it onto your hat, and he's really distracting me when you're...
He's hanging out.
Oh, he traveled to the back. Oh, he might be on your head now.
That's fine, dude. That's okay. Hannah, thank you so much for the 21 and then some questions. I really appreciate the conversation and letting me give my perspective.
Thank you for joining me, and thanks for this cheese and wine picnic. This was great.
My pleasure.
Cheers.